What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a Midwest Family. We're outside doing some patio stuff again. So if you've been watching our channel for a while, you would have seen us pour these two squares, this patio section here that comes up to the house, and then my homie Crazy Quady helped me pour this strip right here. Well, this has been on the ground for, I don't know, over a year now. We poured this part earlier this year, and we are going to seal the joints. So the big section here, we did pretty good when we laid it and when I cut the joints on it. This other little section, it got away from me, and I didn't get the finish that I wanted to get on it, but it'll work. You know, it's whatever, I guess. But I cut a joint right here, and it cracked right next to it, of course, right here. So I got a diamond wheel on the grinder, and I'm gonna clean out this crack here, run it down this joint here, make sure it's all nice and clean. I'm gonna cut this one out, this crack here, and after that I'm gonna spray out all the joints with some water, let it dry overnight and the rest of the day, and then tomorrow we will put the sealant in the joints. So let's get rolling. Alright, so we ran the grinder wheel down this joint here, down there. We ran it down here, which was okay, but I just wanted to make sure it was nice and clean. And then we cut the crack out. So I cut the crack out so I could get the sealer down in there. So I mean, otherwise, when you put sealer on the cracks, it just comes over the top and then it just peels off and it doesn't do anything. So I'm gonna get the hose set up. We're gonna hose all this stuff out, and then we'll be back tomorrow after it's good and dry to put the sealer in. So since you probably don't need to see me hose it out, we will catch you tomorrow hang tight. Alright everyone, welcome back. It's the morning. The patio has got all nice and dry. The seams look pretty good. So after we hosed it all out yesterday, I took a scraper here and I went through and I made sure all the joints were nice and clean, no rocks, no nothing in it. And then I hit it with the leaf blower to get all the dust and anything else that I scraped loose out. And now it is time for the application. So this go around, I'm going to use the PL concrete non-sag polyurethane sealant. There's a lot of options out there. This wasn't my first option, but it's the one that was available. And if I don't do it now, it probably won't happen. So I'm somewhat of a procrastinator. So I'm going to use this. It's good stuff, but it wasn't my first choice. But I'd butcher it, but my first choice was I think it's called Sika, S-I-K-A. And I went to a concrete contractor store, and they had nothing, and they said that they probably wasn't going to get any till the spring, and I didn't want to wait that long. So I'm going to use this stuff. Now the store was out of this stuff, so I've got a couple. It's the same stuff, just different case. This is the new stuff. This I bought when I bought the house, and I used some of it in the basement. But I did pick up a bottle of the slab stuff. It is a different color. It's gray instead of limestone, so I'm going to use that. Hopefully maybe along the foundation of the house where it won't be so obvious of the color change. But since I'm not 100% sure if I have enough, I'm going to start in this corner and kind of work my way this way, since that's the slope of the patio. So if I run out, at least the high stuff will be done, and then as the water runs off, if it rains before I am able to get another tube or two, it's not a big deal. But to do this, you're gonna want some paper towels, a good caulk gun, not a $2 one from Walmart, some knee pads, a scraper. If you have it sealed already, you're gonna want to cut and remove all the old sealer out. Otherwise, you're not gonna get a good bond. That will take a while. But you got to make sure you get it nice and clean, because everything goes in your prep work. If your prep work isn't good, doesn't matter what kind of product you get, you're not going to be happy with it. But we're going to get some knee pads on. We're going to open one of these tubes, and we're going to start over here, and we're going to get rolling. So just a second. All right, we're going to start with the older blue tube stuff and get that used up. You're going to want to cut this tip at the approximate width of your gap. You want this stuff to not be above the concrete. You want it either flush or just slightly below. Make sure you pay attention to the manufacturer's specs. Like this one says maximum depth is 1/2 inch without backer rod. So if your hole or your seam is deeper than 1/2 inch, then you need to put a backer rod in there, and you can get that at your local hardware store or whatever. It's just like a foam piece of foam in a strip that you just shove down in there, and it takes up that space so you don't exceed the depth of the caulk or the sealant. But we're gonna cut this about 1/4 inch. Save that for later. That should be about perfect. Now there's a foam, or not a foam, but a foil seal in there. Some caulk guns like this one has a poker, so you just run it in there a couple times, poke that seal, and then get her loaded up and you're ready to roll. So when you apply it, you want to try to keep the angle flat, and you want to try not to have to tool it. So we'll start on this side. And just slowly run that down. Now it's not going to be perfect, but this is a patio, so it doesn't need to be perfect. I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, so I'm going to try to make it perfect. But you just slowly squeeze it and let it fill that gap up. Take your time. You just kind of got to figure out what angle you need to hold it to get that smooth finish. And depending if you're right-handed or left-handed, you might have to go a different direction. But just go nice and easy. It's not a race. A few minutes of extra time here, and when you're sitting out here next summer or this fall and you're looking at it, you'll be like, well, that doesn't look terrible. Or you'll look at it and be like, wow, that looks like complete dog poop. Alright. So that's our first one. Don't look too bad. Only got, I don't know, a bunch to go. I'm going to show you one more, and then I'm going to just kind of roll with it, and then show you what we got at the end. This is the limestone color. So I think it kind of blends in better than the gray. But if I end up using that gray bottle or that gray tube, maybe I can show you. It's a nice fall project, I guess. What do you think, Mom?
It's good. You're not smoothing it with your finger?
No, the pros don't do that.
That's good.
Alright, we're gonna keep trekking and we'll show you what it looks like towards the end. Alright guys, so we got some of the stuff done. I ran out of sealant by quite a bit. So moral of the story, buy more crack sealer than you think you might need. The dogs only stepped at it in a couple places, so we're winning there. We have helper. We have the limestone color right there, and then we ended up with a tube of gray, which is right there. So I mean, I guess it kind of all depends on which color you prefer, but if you want the gray over the limestone color.
What's this?
We got a future football player practicing his football technique.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
Lemon squeezy. So, yeah. I'm short by probably at least 3 tubes. I had 6 tubes to do this, and let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I got 8 crack sections left, and I was doing about, I think I was doing 7 seams for 3 tubes, something like that. On the bottle it does say, like, 30 linear feet per tube. I'm gonna say I disagree with that, because by those calculations I should have been extra like 2 tubes. But that also, that's a 1/4 inch spacing by 1/4 inch deep, which I know my depth in some areas is probably at least a 1/2 inch, or pretty close to a 1/2 inch, so that's almost double. But we're gonna go to the hardware store, get about 3 or 4 more tubes, and we're gonna get this finished up. But we're gonna end it with that, and we appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. We hope you stick around for the next one, and we'll see you then. Stay safe.
Stay safe.